Everybody, and welcome back to Hypnosis Everywhere. And I'm going to have a great show today because I have one of my friends on from Switzerland, and she's Nicole Wackernagel. And what I like about Nicole is she has passion. She is a very sweet person, and she's also incredibly passionate about hypnosis. So, welcome to my show, Nicole. And we're going to give them all they need to know about how to be a great hypnotist because you are.
Thank you.
So you want to just give them a little bit first about what I'd like you to do is just sort of say how you got into hypnosis and the sort of backstories of how you're there, and then just sort of how you perceive hypnosis to be. Okay?
So, hi everybody. My name is Nicole Wackernagel, and I'm a hypnotherapist and hypnotist in Switzerland and a hypnosis teacher. I have my own school here, and how I began with hypnosis. Actually, I was interested in hypnosis when I was 11 years old already. As a little girl, I was listening to some black LPs. What's that? Like vinyl?
Vinyls, yeah.
Yes, I was laying on my bed and I thought, wow, that's such a good feeling. And they were from my grandmother, and my grandmother died at the moment. And so I had my first contact there. But then within the years, I've learned that hypnosis is something evil and something bad, and I was afraid. Can you imagine that? I had nightmares. I got stuck in hypnosis, and I'm like a zombie, you know? And that was
you were believing that they were from what people were telling you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were telling me that it's dangerous and it's from the devil and blah, blah, blah. And I was believing that about 20 years. 20 years. Can you imagine that? That's amazing.
Wow. That's a big shift. But that was hypnosis. They hypnotized you for a long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I had my first contact when I was 35. In the meantime, I was married, happily married. I had 3 kids, and my husband said, so now you're going to go to a dentist and fix your teeth. But I was so afraid of this surgery, and somebody in the internet mentioned hypnosis, and I said, no. That's something evil, something bad. I'm not going to do that. Not at all.
But
I was actually, I found a dentist nearby. 3 hours. And for Switzerland, that's far away, 3 hours. For you in Canada, it's not far away. Or the United States, it's like, it's not.
well, yeah, it's not bad.
So, I was there and I figure out this person, she's not spooky at all. She's just so normal. And I was questioning, all of a sudden I was questioning what I believed for 20 years.
Yeah.
It was amazing shift. And I was so nervous. I had a good session and she fixed my teeth, and it was just an amazing experience. And till today, I'm so thankful to her to have this wonderful experience. And she was happy that it worked out with me. Actually.
Yeah. I'm sure she was, because if you had decided not to take on hypnosis, it wouldn't have taken. So, right?
I know that today, but back then I was not, I didn't know anything about hypnosis.
So that's great. So then from there, where did you go?
From there, I told her, please give me everything to read. So I was actually reading books about psychology, about doctors, about everything for 3 years. And I thought, if that's a key for me, it must be also a key for other people. And from back then, I was looking all around from different schools to learn as much as possible. Much as I could learn from hypnosis. And I found a school in Zurich and had my first experiences, and it was really awesome. It was really, it was exciting. And from then on, I said, you know what? It's just hooked me. And that was the beginning, actually.
That's it. We all start somewhere, but that's interesting because you were 11 or 10 and I was 10 when I first hypnotized someone. So even though our background, we haven't been in hypnosis since I was 10. So, but the seed was planted back then, right? And then you come around with the hypnosis of your family and other people saying that hypnosis was not good. And now in a moment that changed, right? When you went to that dentist and she did the surgery and you had no discomfort and it was wonderful. And from there on, you were on a rocket ship of change, right? Because you wanted everything.
Exactly. And from then on, the story actually, when I've learned first hypnosis, I felt very insecure, not confident.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I was so nervous. I just remember my first session I had. That was really funny. Today I can laugh, and usually I'm talking, I'm sharing this experience to my students because then they have something to laugh.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel sad about this first session because this client was really a poor guy. So from then on, I had really the urge to learn more and to have kind of a mentorship. And I was looking around for 3 years. I was doing a lot of courses, but actually the confidence did not just came along, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that was this magic day. I desperately wanted to learn instant and rapid inductions. that I was fascinated about that. Huh?
Of course. And of course, who came along in his cape? That's Michael
Andrews, the first world fastest hypnotist. But actually, you know what? I was not very impressed by this picture. First of all, I thought this American guy. No, really. And my friend was urging me to come to Zurich, and I said no. And she said, you have to come. You have to come. You are interested. And so I said, okay, let's go. But you know what? What impressed me the most? The humbleness. And he was so normal.
Yeah. Gee, surprise, surprise. We're all pretty normal people. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but I had a certain picture in my mind, the big hypnotist and the client is over there.
Yeah, it's not that way, right?
Still today, for me, it's very important. It's always like that. It's a matter of trust.
And you're always on the level playing field.
Exactly.
A cooperative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From then on, I got invited from him to practice because I was searching for that. We had that here in Switzerland, but because I had no experience, I couldn't lead. And so I was driving back and forth these 4 years to Heidelberg in Germany. It took me about 3 to 5 hours away. That's huge for a Swiss.
Yeah, it's a big, long time.
You can imagine that, Ines, once even I think it was in November, I slept in my car.
You got a little bit hard to hear there, Nicole. Just move forward. That's better. Yeah, thanks.
Can you imagine? I was even once sleeping in my car just to learn hypnosis, just to be there in that group.
Yeah, I can imagine because I was in the same sort of way when I started.
I did almost everything for that. And I was so desperate to learn and so passionate. Yeah. And I think that was the case. And I was so fortunate to be there. I mean, a lot. And I could learn everything, like in theory, in practice, and I got a lot of practice. And I did some street hypnosis, a lot of instant and rapid, NLP, everything. So
that's what happens. And I have to say, Sean is a great guy to learn from. And he's also, besides being a nice guy, and just, I think part of it is with Europe and Americans and Canadians, we're very casual, right? We're very laid back and casual mostly. And so and I know because I was born in Europe too. So I know there's a distinct difference of when people think of you as a professional But that's changed a lot. It's not like it was when I was in Belgium, which is when I was younger. And, it was very important. You wore a suit, you did this, you did that. And, we're not like that here. We're very, very casual. We like to look decent, but we're not. So I can see how that didn't fit your framework at the beginning. But now you've become part of that framework and you're really moving forward. I've seen you do things that I would be astounded to do myself. I think the thing that you took on and doing stage work there with Jim Wan,
Yes.
I think I bow to you, lady, because
No, I just love it.
I'm serious because, well, it's not my venue, right? It's not my passions in the teaching and clients. So, but the fact that you do it shows me what kind of drive you have. And I think that's awesome.
But you know what? It was a big growing to do that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I was actually afraid. I was so afraid to be on stage. So afraid. You have no clue. But today it's so much fun.
Yeah. And see, for me, it's not that I'm really afraid of it. It's just that I don't think I've got an entertaining sort of spirit. You have to have entertainment coming from the hypnotist, not just from the people in the chairs. And I can talk to people and everything, but I don't think I'm all that funny. So,
I'm not always sure if I'm funny, but I just, for me, I just took the challenge because I was always thinking, because I'm a little different from the outside, I have not the right to be on stage. That was my mindset I had.
Okay, and why was that?
Because I'm different. I'm not like the others, you know that.
Okay.
And that was the huge challenge for me of growing. But you know what? It made me stronger, actually.
Well, I think it made you realize that it didn't matter that you're not a tall person, right? It didn't matter that, because people say on stage you must be, this person. Well, you didn't need that because you have power. Your spirit is big, and that's all that matters. And I thought but I still think that takes guts. And that, to me, to make that leap and do that growing, that's the big thing. And you know what? Guess what? We're finished our first segment already. So I'll see you on the other side.
You're listening to Hypnosis Everywhere, the Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, please call into 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. You may also send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, welcome back to Hypnosis Everywhere. We're going to get right back into our discussion. I really want to know from you, Nicole, this time. What I'd like to know is, because I know the passion's there, that need was there, but there's a journey from when you start learning hypnosis all the way to now being who you are, a very respected teacher. So I'd like some of those little stories and how you felt, and a little bit of, because it's an entrepreneurship, right? When we are hypnotists, we are alone, unless we luckily enough, usually the team effort comes after. But at the beginning, it's our own drive and our own knowings that keep us going.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, actually, I had a dream, and my dream was to be one of the best hypnotists and hypnotherapists in Switzerland. That was my dream and my goal. And every time when I was jogging, and although the scene was not very positive, I mean, I had no help in the beginning, no support. But then I met Sean, and that was the key person for me, and very encouraging all the time. So when I was jogging, I said, hey, I'm going to be a good hypnotist. I'm going to be a good hypnotist. And I was so focused all the time. And I was saying it all the time to myself. And I was talking about exactly. Even I didn't know why I did that. But I was like, I can be very stubborn. And when I have a vision, you can ask my parents, but if I want to do something, I will achieve it no matter what. So my parents had a hard time with me when I was a child. But today it's very beneficial to me because, and the thing, I think the great thing was also, I was asked by a dentist if I would work over there. And because I have a medical background and this dentist, I think I had some credibility to work there. But that was not all. I mean, if you have a medical background and somehow help to work in a dental place, I think mostly it's not enough. You have really to stay focused, and you have to have a vision what you wanted to do. And the thing was also that I wanted to learn everything. That means from every teacher, every technique, as much as possible. And my husband sometimes got annoyed because I was talking about hypnosis all the time.
Yeah.
So you know that too, probably. And
Yeah.
there was nothing. I mean, there's still today, there's almost not one day I'm not thinking about hypnosis and about the beneficial thing we have and the possibilities, the chances and limitations. And yeah, and then actually one day we were on ski vacation and Shell Elman was calling me.
Yeah.
Shell Elman.
Yes. She'd love
And
it.
I was so fortunate. I had 3 days in Zurich to learn from Larry and Shell, and I was realizing I was using Dave Elman methods actually for years. And
Mhm.
she was asking me if I would be train the trainers, one of their trainers from the institute, from the Dave Elman Hypnosis Institute. She invited me, and I said, of course. I mean, but can I really do that? I was not confident at all, and I was so insecure. I said, oh, I can teach, really? Although I felt, oh, I just want to share my passion and you know, my joy I have to work with this awesome tool. So I did the training, and it was great. We had a great time there, and from then on, it went on, and people encouraged me to apply to talk in conventions in the US. And in the meantime, I have a network of people that are encouraging me to go forward, as you probably also, you know. And yeah, I'm just growing, and I just go my own way, and I think that's the way to go.
I think so. And we're very similar in that we had a vision and we stuck to our vision. And
Yeah.
I remember in my office in Parksville, I had a coach working with me, and she said, you always knew where you were going. So you didn't know how you were going to get there, but you always knew where you were going. And that's sort of the same with you, right?
I think that's a very important key. You have to be focused, and you have to know, you have to have a goal, and you have to be really self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
You really
always. And we use our tools for sure for ourselves. And I think that's a big thing. Now, both of us do teaching, and both of us want people to know out there that when they're new, they have support. And we've changed. I've changed quite a bit in the way I teach, and I think you have too. We actually mentor a lot with our students because we know how that worked for us, right? You got mentored by Sean. I know many times we just teach people and then expect them to have all the drive and all that. And so we're not all built the same. And some people just need that little bit, the teaching of the confidence you do. I've heard really good things about that.
Oh, thank you.
Let me know about that. Tell a little bit about how you teach other hypnotists to be confident.
The thing was actually, it's a whole story about that. And I'm so thankful. I'm really get touched when I'm talking about that, because it's a hard thing. You know, I had really no support when I get out of a hypnosis school. And that was one thing I've really missed, was some support, some help, some mentorship. And I think that's so important. And after these 4 years, when Sean went back to the United States, I was kind of really sad. And we were sitting on a table with a glass of wine, and there was a question, because I felt pretty confident then. And we said, what was the key to get confident at that time in these 4 years? And what was important for me as a new hypnotist, as a newbie,
Mhm.
So we put all together these little points, and we put together a class. And I was inviting him for actually twice to Switzerland for instant and rapid. But then he said, okay, now you're going to teach this, the confidence hypnosis confidence masterclass, or yeah. See, just to be confident. And I promised him to give all the things away what I was taught by him. So that's I'm doing right now. That begins with Dave Elman group induction to, I mean, everything, regression, instant and rapid, everything, just everything what I've learned in these years. And what I can see, it's a huge success, and people really need that. And what I just love is just to laugh with my students. I think that's also a key, just to be normal, authentic.
Yes, and I think
Just
that's the
not
biggest
to,
thing.
yeah, and just do it with joy.
Mhm.
And that's my goal, actually, to tell them, hey, you can do what I can do. It's not, I'm not very special in that. No, I'm not.
No, none of us are. That's the whole thing, is what people understand. They think, oh yeah, but you did it, but but we were just the same. So what was the difference? And when both of us like to teach, and when we get on, I'm very passionate, you're very passionate, so it sort of rolls off the tongue, and we are very casual in it, because it's just us being with a bunch of friends learning hypnosis, because we love to talk about hypnosis.
Exactly.
And that's what it's like when you learn from someone like this. And that doesn't mean that the other people aren't right. If they're being their authentic self, we're just being our authentic self. So that's how that works. And maybe that's why we became such good friends, because we are actually quite similar, but you have a lot more adventurous key than me. You're a very adventurous little person, but I know all my
What do you
people,
mean?
well, all my
What do you mean?
friends, I call my group, my little friends that are all around me.
They're all little.
No, they're not all real, but it's always been that, because I think of them as kids. I don't know. It's sort of like they're like a family of kids. So I always have Steen and all, but we all have a similar drive. And we don't all have the similar skills. Some are better at networking, some are better at this, some are better at that. But we are always our authentic self. We always be who we are, always real. And that's what's important.
What do you mean by adventures?
I don't know. Maybe it's an illusion, but I don't think so. You go skiing. Do you know that I've never skied in my life? You
Okay.
they're horseback riding. I'm a little timid about horses. I could use a hypnotist. I could use a hypnotist for all this. The way I was brought up, I was always, don't do this because you'll hurt yourself. So I ended up doing nothing. And
Okay.
I just haven't chosen to do a lot about it. Let's face it, that, because in my life I've been busy and doing other things. But I've always admired that. I admire that in you, and I admire that in Bara Comer. She's so adventurous. It's great. But I'm quite happy just watching you guys.
Okay.
Ski down the hill.
You know who was also key to me?
Mm-hmm.
Your friend Still Niels Musche.
Yes. Steen is a good guy. He's been supporting me for quite a few years too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is it along the way. And this is what I want people to understand. Yes, you are self-employed. Yes, you are alone, but you're not, because you build this hierarchy of support as you go.
Exactly.
You do have to have some, what do you call that, Martin? Some of your own grit, right? You have to have something to do that. And I would say that if it's the best way to make a living in life ever.
Absolutely. I agree.
Anyway, and you're doing all kinds of stuff. Stage shows, see, that's adventurous too. And I know quite a few people who do stage show, but I've done it. I'm not very exciting. I mean, I've taken the courses and stuff. It's good for, gives you a confidence to be on stage and that. But that doesn't mean we're great entertainers in any way. So it is a specialized field. And all the things we do, our specialties are different for everyone. So guess what? It's time to go to the break again. So we'll see you on the other side.
You're listening to Hypnosis Everywhere, the Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, please call into 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. You may also send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, hi, Nicole, and hi, listeners. We're back here, and I just wanted to ask Nicole, because we both have this, we were talking through the break about, we're both very passionate about hypnosis, but where does the passion come from, and why is it there? So guess what? She gets to say it first. I love that. So, because I'm just the one that's asking. So can you sort of explain, I know the passion's great, and I know you do a lot of clients, and you teach a lot of people. So, but from there, what is that passion come from, and why, right?
Ines, that's not such an easy question, actually.
No, I know that.
I think, first of all, I experienced my hypnosis on my own.
Yes.
And for me, it's just such a great feeling. I just want to share with other people.
Yeah.
I experienced so much change in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I had problems in my life which lasted for 10, 20 years, and I couldn't solve them. And when I had a hypnosis session, it was away. And that's one thing, I think. And when I began really to work with hypnosis professionally, and I saw the changes in the life, I mean, when you see people coming in really, really desperately, and I have that every day. I'm working with clients every day. Mm-hmm. And then you have really a session, and you give everything as a hypnotherapist. You give your heart, you give your everything, you know. When I work with clients, I'm just into the process myself. For me, it's more than a job. It's just a hard thing. And I think they feel that, what's going on. And when they open their eyes, and they're just like glowing, you know, and smiling. And it's actually very often they have tears in their eyes, and they hug me, or they ask me if I'm allowing them to hug me and to say, hey, thank you, you changed my life so much. That's something that it touches me over and over and over again. And sometimes I even cry with my clients in the session. I don't show them my tears. I just but it's such a great thing for me to see this change. And the other thing is that sometimes it takes a lot of energy. But on the other hand, it's just an awesome experience to see the changes and the glowing into their faces. That's just, I can never get enough from that.
I know. And the interesting part about it is, and this is for people who are thinking about being hypnotherapists, is that while you're working with other people, you are actually you're a team. The two of you are on a level playing field, and you get just about as much out of it as they do. And that's why we're talking about our passion about it, because I know someone in Australia. Do you know that he works about 10 to 12 hours a day, and he just loves it, and he never stops. So, and is it driven? It's not really driven by a need of money. It's driven by the need of helping, and that need within us is after supporting other people. And you know, when you have positive outcomes, and they say, well, help you, you've changed my life, but they changed their life. And this is what I tell them. We've helped you change your life, but it wasn't us. It was totally your choice and their whole thing, right?
That's very important. And I tell that my clients over and over again, it was your work. It was your job. I'm just a supporter.
Yeah.
And I think with passion, that's one thing, to see the changes.
Yeah.
And to have my own experiences also in experiments.
Yeah.
And changes in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And as a teacher, I just have so much fun. Just so much fun to give my passion, to give the knowledge away. And as you said, it's not driven by money, not at all. It's just joy.
Hmm. And, you know, I think when you do that, you make a living at it and you do whatever you want to do pretty much. But it doesn't happen in the first year usually, but
No.
any self-employment will take at least 2 or 3 years to get going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most times, you know, I saw a girl on FB yesterday on Facebook saying, "Yay, I'm finally full-time hypnotist today." And I said, "Good for you," because I know how big a deal that is. I remember for me, it was 2003 when I became
Okay.
full-time hypnotist. And I took the leap and jumped off the cliff to be
It's really
self-employed.
like that. Yes.
It is. It's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And once you've taken that leap of faith and you know what your vision is, you keep going. And that's the key, is that vision. And if you don't know where you're going, if you're just doing it because it's a job or that you'll be whatever, you got to be something that's got more passion about it. This is not a job like going and cleaning, you know, being in a dentist. Yeah.
I think you have to have the right motivation, and you have to have the right heart. And I think it's so necessary, because everything you can't get a long-term result when you're driven by money. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because yeah, you earn a lot of money when you're driven by money, but where's the joy? Where's the passion? Where's the heart? Because I think the people, clients or students, they will feel that, I'm sure. And I can hear that all over again. The people they like to laugh, they like to have a relaxing time, and I think that's one key in a course.
Yep.
To be on the same equal, you know, and yeah, just share your knowledge. And
yeah. And I think too, cultures have changed over time, and time has changed. You know, in the 50s and 60s, hypnotists tended to be quite authoritarian, right? And the culture was, you listen to your doctor, you listen to this, you'd listen. We're not the same today. So it brings us into level playing field, which we like, you know, so that we are helping people to get better. And that's, you know, the most exciting thing that there is, actually.
Absolutely.
Because we empower people, right? We empower them to move forward in life.
And I think that's like I'm a mom of 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my kids when they're little, and you see them grow, you see them getting better at things, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And that's the same with your students. It's like having kids. As you said in the beginning, it's just awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. So we want to know, there's one more thing I want to say, because we've had mentors in our life, and Sean was yours. Sean Michael Andrews, and the fastest hypnotist in the world with his billing. And he's in Atlanta, so I'm going to give him a little plug because we like him. So, and I always give you a plug. You know, if you're in Switzerland, who should you learn from? But Nicole, you know, and that's what it is. So I'm going to give Steen a plug too, in Hamburg, and he's a great teacher there. So we've got a few minutes till break. So what would you tell a new person coming to hypnosis about looking for the teacher that you want? Looking, you know, just sort of put yourself back in their shoes and say what we can save them some steps if they listen, right?
What I would say is, what I was impressed the most about Sean was his humbleness, and about his so normal. And that's what I saw from many, many good teachers and good mentors. When they're really good as a hypnotist, they don't have to
blow their horn. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But they're just so normal, humble, authentic, and they just share everything they know. Because it's not about the teacher. It's about the student, because the student has to be better than the mentor or the teacher. And I
Yes.
think that's a very important thing I've heard from other mentors I had in my career. And yeah, that's, for me,
And it's not the easiest thing to do as a mentor, like, you know, Sean or you or me. Even think of it, we all have ego, right? We all have ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to be a great mentor and teacher, you let go of that ego because you really want them to get better than you and move the profession forward all the time. Yeah.
But that should be about that, moving the hypnosis forward.
Yeah. And that's my key to say our community is doing that well right now. But we'll talk a little more about that. And guess what? It's time to go to break again. So see you on the other side.
Is everywhere. The Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, please call into 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. You may also send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, welcome back. And this is our last segment. And usually on this last segment, I usually coerce my person that's with me that day, which is Nicole today, to give you some information that you can do for yourself. So I'm just going to let her talk about that and what she used to do.
What I'm doing usually, and what I did do in my past, was to do like a little movie. I'm sitting in a cinema and I have a little movie before me. Sometimes when I'm jogging and I'm doing sports, I can see myself in the future, what I'm going to do. That means to be the best hypnotist in Switzerland, or about anything you want to achieve. See yourself in that. Experience it. Feel it in colors, in smell it, feel it, just everything. And do that every day. And just, it helps to remind you what I did. Put some little papers, some little notes in your flat or in your house that will remind you all the time, several times a day. I did that all the time. Whatever, when I did sports or everything, I was always playing that in my mind and have this picture before my eyes. And that gave me the drive to go towards that goal. And in the meantime, I have other goals.
Always have them.
I do the same. I'm always really going step by step further. I have like, set your goals not too far away. That means my goal in the first time as a hypnotist, that means for people that are listening, that are not intending to go into hypnosis, that could be other things in your life. Like put your goal a little ahead. That means my goal was to have 2 clients in a month. See? Well, I had 5 or 6 back then, and I was so proud. Mostly you are better than you're actually
your goal vision
intended, you know. Yeah. But from then on, go on and on and on all the time. And I think it's so important to have goals and to visualize that all the time. And that's what I do till today. Visualize myself, my dreams, my goals. And that was a quote that sometimes I'm giving to my students. I had a dream, and remember your dream and fight for them. You must know what you want from life. And there's only one thing that makes your dream become impossible. It's the fear of failing. That's from Paulo Coelho. And that is my quote that gives me the drive to go on. Whatever is it in my life. It's hypnosis, it's my family, it's whatever, my school. I think you have to fight for your dreams no matter what. And if you have this motivation, the subconscious mind will take over and you will achieve your goals, I'm sure.
Well, the subconscious will give you anything that you desire. And if you desire it strongly enough and you're proving to it that you're, otherwise it just says, they're just laying back in the traces. It doesn't really mean anything, right? You know?
Yeah.
So become motivated and keep your motivation up and you'll get the passion with it. It comes with it.
And I think that's a challenge all the time, to have this motivation, or to stay motivated. I think that's not always easy.
No, it's not always easy.
But if you're playing your movie before your eyes, I think every time it gets easier.
You know, I did something essentially the same, except I'm not very visual. You know, I don't really see the movie, so I have to really imagine it, right? So, but you can still do that. You can do the same for all of you people who out there that aren't very visual, and you say to her, she says, well, yeah, that's good for her. She sees movies, you know, but that's who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. You create it and just feel it, and sense it and know it, and just do it from every angle.
And I think the emotions are the strongest. When you have the emotions with it, I mean, that's what advertising doing it day by day with us.
Yeah.
When you can feel it, then it's a matter of time when the subconscious is.
Yeah, you can watch a movie that's pretty dull or pretty, you know, doesn't equip you for anything. And, but when you feel it, that's when it's really working, right? That's when you know that it's a good movie.
Right.
So all those sort of things are important. Now, are you having you're having your open house on your new school on March 23rd? I've heard from a little bird, and I know it's going to be great because you're a great mentor. Sean Michael Andrews will be there, and I just want to, do you know, if people in Atlanta, especially, or United States, he's just a great guy. And if you need a hypnotist or a trainer, that's a good place to go. And I think it's, what is the website again? It's
his website is www.worldsfastesthypnotist.com. And I just can really urge you, if you need a competent and a good hypnotist that helps you and supports you, he is one of the best I know. And there's no doubt.
I'm on board with that. We've always liked each other. So, and usually that's, you can also see them on YouTube. Yeah. The world's fastest hypnotist, right? So if you know, and if you're interested in hypnosis, you're probably already watching all that stuff. So we're talking to the choir. But for anyone who even wants to see what we are like normal people, we are just same as you in everyday work, right? Always the same. It's just, you always need to work to your passion. So if that's not hypnosis, you can still use all the stuff we talked about in any other field. And it's always about being motivated. And to keep that motivation, you know, we all lose motivation, right? At some time. And, you know, you can have a couple of days off now and then.
You need that sometimes.
You do.
Even I need that sometimes, just to take a break.
Yeah, you need to take a break sometimes. But otherwise, and then you'll feel it, you'll sense it, you'll be lost. It's like you don't have enough to do or something. I don't know, but I have to get back to it. So I understand that, and that we're the same in very many ways. Now, you got any other trainings coming up right now?
The school, the Atlantic Hypnosis Institute, is a partner school from the Swiss Hypnosis Institute. And if you want to learn hypnosis and hypnotherapy, go to Augusta, Atlanta, learn with Sean Michael Andrews, and you get even Swiss hypnosis certificates because we're partners.
And what about Switzerland, though? Because this goes all over the world. This isn't just the United States, so, right?
Thing is, you can learn with me. That's not a problem. But mostly the courses are in German.
Yeah.
I'm teaching. I mean, I have lectures at HT Live upcoming 2019 in Las Vegas in August, and I'm going to be in Daytona Beach with 2 lectures about confidence and the keys in hypnotherapy. And my website is www.swisshypnosis.institute. I don't know if Google can translate that, because until now it's just in German, but I think I'm going to have to do it in English.
Yeah, and besides, it'll all be on your face page, on your show page, so they can get any kind of information there.
And if you want to have a funny time and laugh, just go on my YouTube channel, type in Nicole Wackernagel, and I have some interviews with interesting people, but also I do sometimes some funny stuff
Yeah.
with people.
Great.
Always
Good.
respectful, but funny.
Okay, great. And that's always good. So just to sum up, I think Nicole, she's good to teach because she has this passion and she is a sweet person. If you haven't felt that or sensed it, she is a very caring woman. Now, that is a good way to be a hypnotist and the best. So we've got 1 minute till close. So anything, last second thing you want to say?
Just go your way and have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy your journey.
And that's what it is. In any job that you go to do, if you want to have something that you're passionate about, you will have a good life. If you have something that is something to make money, I know we all have to feed our kids. We all have to do that. But we all did it at the beginning. I was waitering, doing, all those things. But sometime take your passion and run for it.
Exactly.
So we're going to say goodbye from Switzerland and from Parksville in Canada for today, and we'll see you next week on Hypnosis Everywhere. And bye for now.
Bye-bye.
All right, you're clear.
Thanks.
Great.
All